Welcome, seekers, to another pickacard reading. My name is Kim, and for today's pickacard reading, we're going to be answering your most burning questions with a simple sí or no, yes or no. And to do so, we're going to be looking at both tarot and oracle cards. And we're not just going to be answering your questions with a simple yes or no, but we're also going to be looking at the whys and just at more guidance, okay? So we have 4 groups to choose from, and if you have more than one question, of course you can choose more than one group. And to help you choose a group, we have both crystals and little charms. So for group 1, we have this little charm of a dragonfly with the peacock ore. For group number 2, we have this little charm with a tiger's eye in the middle and a spade. And of course, how creative, I matched the tiger's eye for this one. For group number 3, we have this little charm of an anchor with the stone hematite. And for group number 4, we have this little gold leaf with the clear quartz. Okay, so do ask your questions, and they can be on any topic that you want. Pause the video if you need to, take the time to meditate, breathe on it, and whatever crystal or little charm calls out to you, then that will be your group. And I will see you in a bit with your reading. Hello, seekers who chose group number 1. Okay, so to be answering your question, we're going to first be looking at the tarot just to get a general energy of the situation and to get further clarification as to the whys. We're going to be pulling some oracle cards. But firstly, we're going to be looking at the little charm and the stone that is connected with this group. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did do this reading before. I did flip over the tarot card, but I had troubles connecting with this group. I was trying to deliver the message as best as I could, but I just had trouble connecting. So I did put these cards aside and I moved on to the other groups, and then I took a little break, ate some fruit, and now I'm back to do this reading to see how it works now. I just wanted to let you guys know because I want to be as honest and transparent with you guys. So yeah, that was the situation. So now let's get into the charm and what it represents. So this little charm is the dragonfly. And the dragonfly for me represents flexibility, adaptability, and just being versatile. Because if you ever notice the dragonfly, it changes flight patterns pretty easily and comfortably. So that's where that flexibility and adaptability comes in. The dragonfly also is connected with both air and water elements, and air reminds me of communications, and water is just like to do with emotions. Yeah, and dragonflies also like are in connection with like the mystical realm. So you believe in like fairies and all of that mystical stuff. Then yeah, and the dragonfly reminds me a lot of this peacock stone because of its colors. Because when the light reflects on the stone, just like the dragonfly hits it just right, then its colors just illuminate more beautifully. You start to see like the iridescence of it. And what all this represents to me, like the colors and stuff, is just showing up in your true colors without any shame. It's just like being your authentic self. And it's the sense of like transformation as well. And the peacock ore does assist with seeing things from a new perspective. So seeing things from a new point of view, having a new perspective on a situation. And also it reminds me a lot of like joy and happiness. So that's what I have for these two, and now let's get into the reading. So like I said, I did flip the tarot card, so I do know what's waiting. But yeah, let's begin. So the tarot card that fell for you guys is the King of Stones, the wolf. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the traditional tarot, the King of Stones is the King of Pentacles. And Pentacles, stones, are earth energy. And earth energy for me is very slow moving energy. Okay? So that's why I feel that whatever you're asking about, whatever you're wondering about, is something that you have been asking and wondering about for quite some time. It's something that I feel you have been wishing for and praying for and asking for quite a while. right? Because we do have this season of winter. And winter just reminds me a lot of like past energy, and this energy that feels, sometimes when we're in winter, we feels like it's lasting forever, especially if we're not people that feel all that joyful during winter season, because I don't remember what that symptom is called or what it's called, but sometimes our emotions, or we change according to the seasons. So like there's individuals who feel even more down, more lonely, more sad during the winter seasons, right? They're more susceptible to that. And that's what I am getting here, like a very lonely and emotional and sad energy with this winter being around here. And I'm not only saying that because of the winter, but because also of this wolf. We have a wolf being represented here. Now, wolves are known to travel in packs, but we have this single wolf here, which reminds me of what do you call them? Oh my god. What do you call them? The lone wolf? Oh, that's it. The lone wolf. So it's a wolf without its pack. And I do like he or she is being represented here as calling out, right? Howling at the full moon. And if you've ever heard a canine howl, it feels like this very like yearning and like destitute calling, right? It reaches to the heart. It's very emotional. And with all this like snow, this is water energy, and the full moon represented here, it has to do with emotions. Water has to do with emotions, and like the moon pulls at the tides, right, of the sea, which again, it's like pulling at like your emotions, and and just emotions for me. And so the full moon also reminds me a lot of like lonely nights, or those nights where we feel like sad and melancholic. And that's the energy I feel with this group. Like whatever it is that you're asking for, it's something you've been yearning. It's that yearning and calling out for. So I feel that for most of you, this question might be in terms to a person. Now, it does feel like you're either waiting on a response of a person, or waiting for communication or a reconnection with a certain individual. It may be from an individual of your past, because again, winter here reminds me of past. And you have been waiting for this individual to either come back to your life, or like you said, a message from this person. And if not, then I feel that a lot of the other people who chose this pile might be people who are currently solo, right? Who feel like this lone wolf, and you're possibly asking whether you are going to connect with somebody, whether you're going to enter a relationship, and possibly you're the one who's been calling out to not only your pack, but to like a significant other, to your mate, and you're just wondering when this person is going to enter your life. If this person is going to enter your life pretty soon. Now, I had trouble with this one because I'm not getting a quick no from this. How to explain it? It's like, it's not even a maybe. It's a yes. It's a yes, but with the but. So it's something that will come, but it will not come soon. It will take a while, but it has a lot to do with you and your energy. No, not your energy, but how you're viewing the situation. Because what I feel here is that you're putting so much of your energy, your emotional energy, all of your focus. You're so hyper aware on this one thing. It's like I just see this moon like glowing. It's like you're just so focused on this one thing, and you not having it, that is causing so much sadness and despair within you, and it is keeping you in this winter season. Now, I feel that whatever it is that you're looking for, that you're waiting for, it was hidden beneath the snow, and you cannot see it because the snow has yet to melt. spring has yet to come. But it's like, how can I say it? It's like the one who's like causing it to snow. Oh, it kind of reminded me of Harry Potter. Have you guys seen Harry Potter? You know, when Ron gets all like sad because he just broke up with Lavender. And then it starts snowing and Hermione is all like, Ron, stop, you're making it snow. It's kind of that feeling, like your sadness and this feeling of being lonely is what is causing it to snow. And so, like, it's burying what you want even deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah? So, I do feel like a yes, but it's a yes that is yet to be seen. And it's just asking you to release hold of this, to move your focus away from this. Because imagine if this like wolf, how long has it spent here on this rock howling at the moon? You know, calling out to the pack or to this mate, right? And instead of like possibly him going out there and looking for them, he's just spending more time just howling and crying out. And like, how is he eating? How is he feeding himself or herself? You know? So it's like focus your energy on something else, and that will help with the situation. That's what I'm getting here. Because with the full moon represents for me illusions, hidden truths, but it's also a symbol of manifestations for me. So I feel you are currently at this stage right now, at this state of manifesting. You praying for this, wishing for this, constantly asking for this is like putting energy into it. So it's like the universe, let's say, if you believe in law of attraction and manifestation, if you're into all of that, if you're putting all of this energy, if you're sending all of these wishes and prayers and asking for it constantly, right? Then what you're telling the universe is that you're exactly in this state. You're continuing in this state of manifesting. It's like when you're cooking something and you're putting ingredients and more ingredients into it and more ingredients into it, and you keep tasting it and tasting it and tasting it, wondering if it's ready yet. What you're doing is you're still cooking. Right? You're still cooking, you're still brewing the stew, and when is the dish ever going to be ready? When are you going to be able to serve it if you're still putting more into it and keep tasting it to know if it's just right? And you're just asking yourself, is it ready? Is it ready? But you're the one who determines when is it ready. You're the one who does that by serving the plate, putting it on the table, and deciding to sit down and, eat the meal that you have cooked. Okay, it sounds a little morbid, not that I said it, but that's exactly what you're doing here by constantly asking and wishing for it. Okay, but let's get further into the cards to get more in the situation. So we have the Balance card, the Star card, the Gratitude card, the Intuition card, and the Drifting card. Oh, that's cool. There's 5 oracle cards for you guys, like the rest of the group's only got 4. But okay, let's look into it. So we have, firstly, let's see. Okay, so you see, this is why I do sense that it's a yes, but it's a yes that has yet to come, because we do have the Star card here. We have the Star card, and the star for me is wishes being fulfilled, dreams coming true, and I say that it is yes that has yet to come because we do see this shooting star, right? So it's like it's on its way, but it still has some distance to travel, right? And the image that's coming to mind is, there's a lot of movie references here, but if you've seen Howl's Moving Castle, do you remember when the star falls directly in his hands? It's like, yes, it's on its way, it has yet to arrive onto Earth to pass the atmosphere, but then it's like, will you be at the right place? Will you be receptive to receive this wish, this star? And to do so, it's like asking you need to move away from this space that you are in, because I don't think that's where your star is going to land. You need to move away from here. Yeah, in order to receive the wishes that is coming to you, that you've been waiting for. And if it's not exactly a person, it could be like a job offer, a job opportunity that you're waiting for. It's exactly the same thing. It's like you're focusing so much on this one thing, and it's asking you to move your attention away from it. Because at this point, like, the control of the situation no longer relies in your hands. Like, it does not. Like, you can only do so much, and you've done so by asking and putting in some of your energy in it. Now you only have to, like, wait for it to come. But while you wait, please don't stay here in this winter season, because I feel with this balance card, what it's telling me, and even with this dark card, is that there's still so many things for you to accomplish. There's so many things for you to do. Like, it seems you have many more wishes and dreams and opportunities that will be coming to you, if they're not already, that you need to experience and open up to. It's like, and what this will allow you is to find stability within your own. Because if you feel that only connecting with this person, or receiving the message from this person, or receiving the yes from this job opportunity, or whatever it is, or that only if you enter a relationship, because you are currently single, right? And you feel so lonely and so sad, thinking that if you enter a relationship, all of this will go away. If this person reaches back to you, if this person reconnects with you, if you get back together with this person, with this ex, let's say, you will feel whole again. You will be whole again. Or this job opportunity is the only way to get to your success, right? Or for you to feel successful. Then let me tell you, that is not true. That is not true. And possibly that's the reason why it's not coming to you. Because that emotion that you feel towards it, feeling that you are empty and incomplete without this individual, or empty and complete if you don't have this partnership or relationship or this job, is not the way to go. Because you are a whole and complete individual on your own. You are. And I feel that, like, your guides, spirit, the universe wants you to know that. To know that and stand in your own power. Because what this energy is only causing is, like, when you're so hyper aware on what you do not have, then you begin to lose gratitude in all that you do have, in all the other aspects of your life. Then this bird starts falling. It forgets it has wings. Because if it was living in its present, if it was seeing what it does have, it would know it has wings to fly. And it will come out of this dark period. It will rise like the phoenix. It will be grounded in knowing in its self-worth and its self-identity, because red here represents from your root chakra. And we do have color yellows and oranges, who are representative of the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, which that has to do with your identity, how you see yourself, how you view yourself, and being grounded in your own power. And you will be this bird taking flight. But when you're so more focused on what you feel you're lacking, what you do not have, then you do not realize what is right in front of you. You do not realize your own potential. You forget you have wings. And then that's when you feel like you're lonely. That's when you feel like you're falling. That's when it feels like this winter is everlasting, that it will never end. But that's not the reality of things. That's why we have the gratitude card in reverse. And I feel like you seeing, or like this, if you've been asking for this, wishing for this, and I feel you have been doing so for quite some time, and you haven't seen any results, you haven't seen any response, a callback, let's say, that has maybe led you to be even more hopeless, or to be hopeless. That has, like, dwindled your fire. and maybe feeling some sense of pain and sadness, or even anger or resentment. And that's why I see this bird falling and falling. And so it's not helping you. Being in this situation is not helping you. So it's asking you to come out of it. And the way you can come out of it is to acknowledge, okay, look, I put as much of myself in this situation. I've asked, you know how they say, asking you shall receive? Maybe you've listened to that and you're like, well, I have been asking, but I haven't been receiving anything, and you're getting pretty pissed about it, right? Because like, I've been there. But now it's just, you know, sometimes it takes some time for things to get to us, because, you know, it's a lot of things have to be put into the work for things to be manifested or to come to us. And so now just acknowledge this. Fall into that knowing, I've done all that I can. I put in my work. Now I let it be. I'm not going to spend any more of my time or energy waiting or allowing myself to be in this state when there's so many more things waiting for me. When there's so many, I'm not going to be waiting on this one person, right? That is not reciprocating at this moment, that is not opening up to me at this moment, when there's so many other people who are part of my life right now, who do love me, who are here for me, I can connect with. I rather spend my energy and my time and sharing in my love with these people who are like guiding lights to me and stars, who allow me to feel youthful again and give me this sense of joy and just rejuvenation. Because that's what I feel with these two cards, with the Balance and Star card, is this sense of hope. So it's asking you, move from this space to this space of hope, because there's so much beauty and wonder around you, waiting for you. I do feel there's a lot of people who do love you and appreciate you in your now, in your life at this moment. But you being so preoccupied over this one person, or the fact that you're still single, keeps you from seeing all these beautiful relationships that you do have. Because love is not only romantic, and our love that we have within doesn't only have to be given to one single person. Love is acknowledgement of all things, is connection with all these other people, be it friendships, be it family members, be it with our pets, be it with just the world and nature. And be in that love, exude your love, and don't wait for that one person to give your love to. Because what you do is you freeze up that love. You make it turn into winter. You turn it into ice. Because we do have this waterfall here. And if you look closely, we have like ice here in the water. And what just this represents to me is this ice is finally melting. So it's like once you come out of this idea that you only need this one person to feel the love, to be in love, to give your love to, once you move away from that idea and be like, I am love at all times, and I can share my love with everyone and anyone, and I can feel into that love. I don't need that one person to be love. Then you become this waterfall. Ooh, I got chills. Then you become this waterfall, and then you can exude your light. And the stars will shine the more brighter because of it, because you are also this bright star. And you can finally notice it. You can notice these stars. And this crescent moon here is representative of new beginnings to me. There's like a new fresh start, a new beginning, that opening of the door. You will finally see it. Doors will open for you. Yeah? You will start accomplishing your dreams and your wishes. You will start grounding yourself, stable in your energy and your self-identity, remembering who you are. Remembering you are love. You are love. You don't need another person to be whole, because you are whole on your own. You have all that you need. All that you need. All that you are is all that you need to live a life standing tall and firm like this tree, in order to reach the skies. in order to reach your dreams, to be in contact with them. Yeah, and once you do so, once you allow this realization to come in and acknowledge that you are this abundant, like this waterfall, that you are love, use your intuition, because water also reminds me of emotions and it reminds me of intuition. Your intuition will grow stronger. And intuition reminds me of just believing in yourself. It's trust. Because we all are intuitive beings. We all have that. We all have that magical power of intuition. It's just that very little of us silence our minds, right? In order to fully acknowledge our intuition, listen to it. Very few of us do that. And why? Because to follow our intuition means to trust ourselves. And not all of us trust ourselves. And this is trusting yourself. And when you trust yourself, it's because you know who you are. You know what you want. You know where you're going. You know where you stand. Firm in your power. So when you come into this energy, your intuition will grow stronger. And when I look at the bear, it just reminds me of like Mama Bear. Like a very strong, protective energy, but also a very comforting, generous, compassionate, and empathic being. A very loving, like a teddy bear energy. And with the drifting card being here on top of the intuition card, it just reminds me of going with the flow of things. Oh, and also, like, we do have this waterfall here, right? So it's like the idea of the ice slowly melting. I feel that once you start moving away from this energy, once you start being so hyper aware on it, and just constantly like thinking about it or putting so much emotion into it, then that's when, like I said, the ice will slowly melt, right? Like it won't be snowing anymore. The ice will turn into water, these waterfalls, and then this river will be able to flow. And possibly what you're asking for, that opportunity, that person, whoever it is like was possibly underneath all this snow or was frozen. Was like captured in ice. And now that you allowed yourself to be, now that you moved away from this, now that you allowed it to stop snowing, then the ice has melted. And now whatever was captured in that ice, like this little canoe here, will come flowing in, will come drifting into your life, because now it's finally free to do so. Right? And now the little canoe is in the color green, and green for me represents the heart chakra. So it's opening of your heart again, allowing your emotions to flow, be in that loving state, right? Do not be like closed off and limiting your love to a certain idea or a certain person, or just thinking that you can only be your true self or succeed if at this certain job or with this certain person or at this certain place. Because that's limiting yourself. That's limiting who you are. And let me tell you, you are limitless. You are a universe of your own. There's no limit to the universe. So once you open up, then the waters can flow freely. And then this will come in just like that. And possibly when it does come in, you're not even going to be thinking about it or worried about it anymore. And when you see it, then like your intuition is going to be so high up. You're going to be so in your power, and possibly doing so many other things and investing more of your energies in things that truly bring you joy, that you truly are passionate about, that rekindle that like joyful and childlike spirit within you, that when it comes in, your intuition is going to kick in and you're going to be like, yo, do I really want this? Is this person really the person I want to be with? Like, do I connect with this person still? Or you're gonna see it from a new perspective. Like, why was I so attached to this person, or thinking that I needed this person in order to be happy? I'm already happy. I am happy. Because I am a happiness and joy and abundance on my own. Like, am I still resonating with this person? Or if it's a job opportunity, like, is this really what I want to do? I've done other projects. I've created new opportunities for myself now. Like, do I really want to fall back into this? And then that's when you will decide whether you want this or not. And maybe, possibly, like, you won't resonate with it any longer. You will realize that there's other things in the world that you can also be successful in, that you can also feel that love with, that there's other form of connections that are only romantic, and that you don't need a partner to feel whole and complete, and that a person is not going to bring you out of this sad period or make you feel less lonely. Because first of all, it's my belief that we're never alone. We may feel lonely, right? But we are never truly alone, because if you believe in energy and spirit guides, they're always with you. They're like the stars. Like during the day, you cannot see them, but that doesn't mean that the stars aren't there. They're shining just above the sky, right? So you're never, never alone. If only you take the time to look up, you'll realize that. So I do feel that yes, it is a yes. That's why I had trouble with this one. It is a yes. I feel that what you're asking for, you will see it, but you won't see it right now. Not right now. Because you're not completely open to it. You will see it along the road, but it will be at a time where you're like not even worrying about it anymore. That's when it will come in. That's when it will come in, and possibly by that time you'll be like, maybe I changed my mind about this. I see it from a new perspective. And that's what I feel also with the Dragonfly, with transformation, versatility. It's like changing. And like with all of these like stars and all of these birds here, like I see a lot of like different opportunities for you. So if it's in terms of career, I feel that there's not one route for you, that maybe you're so focused on it being this one thing, and the reason why it's being kept away from you is because actually there's so many different things that you can do. And like going at this one job will kind of limit you and oppress you, keep you away from all of these other things that you can accomplish for yourself. And that will bring you much stability and balance and joy and fulfillment. So there's always a purpose for everything. Energy is never wasted, and sometimes it's hard for us to see the reason for it, because we can be in this state of like emotions, and like that does not allow us to see clearly into situations. It doesn't allow us to see it from a different perspective. But later on we start to realize why. That's when new opportunities start opening for us, that we start to realize why something was kept from us. Because the universe never works against you. It always works with you. It listens to your heart and knows what your soul desires truly. Sometimes what we think we want isn't exactly what we need, or later down the road isn't even what we truly wanted. And I think this is what it's teaching you. And it's teaching you also to strengthen your intuition. Oh my god, I took a while with this one. Okay, but that's what I have for you guys, which is kind of it is a very empowering energy. So it is a yes, but when it comes to you, you won't even be worrying about it. It's like when you're just not even thinking about it, it will come to you just like that. And possibly you'll notice that you don't even want it, because better things that resonate more with you are now in your life. You're connecting with that. So that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope you resonated with this reading. I hope it brought you some clarity and some guidance. If you liked the reading, or if you resonated with it, please do like and comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until the next moment. Bye-bye. Hello, seekers who chose group number 2. So to be answering your question, we're going to first be looking at the tarot to get a general energy of the situation, and then we're going to pull out some oracle cards to get into the whys and just more clarification, okay? But firstly, let's talk about the little charm and the little crystal that was chosen for this pile. So for this little charm, we do have a tiger's eye in the middle, and the tiger's eye for me is a stone of wisdom. It also denotes courage, just reminds me, of a tiger. And it also brings balance and protection to one. Also reminds me a lot of personal power, like focus. And with its colors being like orangey and reddish yellow colors, it does stimulate the first 3 chakras, which would be the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra, which speaks all about self-empowerment, knowing oneself, and self-identity, and yeah, standing just in one's own power. And then we do have this spade here. Now, spades in the like traditional cards, I believe are swords, and swords for me are representative of air energy, which have to do with thoughts, mental energy, and also communication. Yeah, and so again with the tiger side, we already spoke of what the tiger eye represents. Yeah, it also like talks a lot about determination, being determined and focused on something and going just going at it, like courageously. So that's all I have for these two, and now let's look at your cards. So let's begin with the tarot first. See what came out. Ooh. So this right away, okay, well, first of all, it's the Ace of Vessels. It's the waters of life. So those who are familiar with the traditional tarot, this is the Ace of Cups. So for whatever it is that you're asking for, this is a yes. This is a triple yes. Okay, so just let's see the energy. So this could be due because water for me represents emotion. It also reminds me connection with spirit. It also brings forth clarity. And we do see an abundance, complete another abundance, because we do see like this waterfall, and waterfalls just remind me of like ever flowing energy of never being without. So yeah, it is that form of abundance. It's mostly like it could be abundance in an emotional. So if you are asking about relationships, about connections, if you're going to connect with the person that you have in mind, or if the relationship is going to work, I would say this is a yes, because we do have like these two animals here drinking from the same water. And what this mostly reminds me of is like soul connections, because it's coming from the same pool of water. And yeah, water reminds me a lot of like spirit and like the soul. And we just see this like pool of water where like all animals, not mattering from what species, they can come together at this point, and drink from the same waters without conflict and just being at peace. So it's just this very peaceful energy. Yeah. And with the little boat here, it reminds me of a crescent moon, and it's like the first moon phase. So that represents for me new beginnings. And we do see this tree here in the background, this very tall, stable tree, which reminds me of building strong foundations and of just a stability, and against that sense of abundance, like something that will be long term and will provide you with much shelter and nourishment, because we do see the tree providing shelter here for this pool of water. And we do have these rocks being represented here that are being are some form of foundation for this cup of water here. So if you're asking about a relationship, whether it will be long term, whether there will be commitment coming from this person, this would be a yes for me. And yeah, because I do sense a lot of like stability and long term with the tree and with these rocks being here, because we do have also like moss and this like grass growing upwards in these rocks. So I sensed a lot of this pure energy that is both equal in its receiving and giving, because it's just so balanced that even like Mother Earth supports it, like wants to be a part of it. Yeah, because it not only brings joy and abundance to you, but to this other person. And it's like this connection also brings joy and abundance to others. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. And if it is like a job or work situation, or you're thinking about a creative project, because it is the waters of life, it's just bringing something into creation, then this will be a yes also. It could be that you're maybe starting a business, and this business or this creative project will bring much joy and peace and nourishment to others. It's like it will be a safe space that many people from different backgrounds or ethnicities can come together and just share. Yeah, without any form of conflict, jealousy, or envy. It just looks like a very sacred space. Okay, but let's look at the oracle cards to get more clarification. We have release, we have journey in reverse, we have direction, and we have Earth Mother. Let me see, pull them out here for you. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm getting here is that in order to come into this abundance, or whatever it is that you're asking for, which I now feeling that it can be a creative project or pursuit that you're asking about, it's asking you to release expectations or release anything that you've been holding that belongs in the past. Because you do see here these little rocks and these little pebbles, right, that this person is releasing. So I see these little rocks as expectations. I think that if it is a creative project, let's say, that you're thinking about, that you haven't really stabilized, it's just asking you to release whatever expectations you have of it. How, like, if you think at a certain stage, or maybe you already began it and you're not seeing it to be successful just yet, and you're kind of like a bit sad about it, it's like release those expectations of how you think it should look like. Or if you're comparing it to like other people and how well others are doing or did by this stage, and that you should be at that level by now, it's like release all of that. Because like every journey, we do have the journey come up here, is different, will look different, and it, you know, the process of getting into your destination is completely different. And you holding on to those expectations, what is causing is just some form of pain. Because can you imagine holding on to like these little tiny jagged rocks like in your palms? It will hurt, right? So it's like release all that. And once you release, once you open your hands and let go of all of these expectations and worries that you have, then you will make space for new things to come in, right? And also, if it's just been in the works for you, like if you've just been wondering about this and daydreaming about this, but you haven't put it into fruition because of fear or worry that it might not turn out, it's asking you need to start, you need to let go. Because then these could also be like seeds, right? If we keep the seeds, like if we just think about like, oh, this seed is going to like, there one day will be flowers or like rose bushes or something, but you keep them in your hands and you're just like visualizing what they could be or what they will turn out to be at one point, and you never let them go, then they will never turn into the flowers that they're supposed to. They'll never grow into that tree that is meant to grow to. Like, you need to let go of it. You need to put it into the soil. You will not be able to see like how it's growing for a while, because it needs to be in that, underneath that soil, in that dark space for it to fully take root and ground. But you need to trust that it will grow into this tree, that it will give you fruit. So it's time to put it into the works. It's time to put it into the soil. It's time to let go of it, because you will see success from it. And it will be success not only to you, but it will bring much abundance and joys to a lot of other people. That's what I'm getting here. And I see that with Earth Mother being here across from it, because Earth Mother is like Mother Gaia. earth energy, and Mother Gaia gives to others from like a very pure space, right? And we all live on Mother Earth, and we all take and share in the resources that Mother Gaia provides from to us. And that's what I'm sensing here. Like, this will be a very safe space that will provide for many people. And I also see it as something growing beautifully. So like, instead of worrying so much about it or having these expectations that hurt you and cause worry or insecurity within you, let go of all of that. If it's causing you pain and worry, just let go of that and realize that every journey is different. And your journey, however it will turn out to be, will be beautiful. Will be beautiful and abundant. And start just, thinking about more like how beautiful and wonderful it will be when you get here. Keep those, like, that's what I'm seeing here, like these flowers growing out of her neck is like beautiful thoughts, and this just having these beautiful dreams with you, and that will just elevate you and create more joy within you, more passion, because we do have like this fire here, and fire here reminds me of like passion and creative energy, and that would just like what it says, give you that empowerment to pursue your dreams even further, to bring this into creation like more quickly. And with this, I'm thinking like spring or summer. So maybe you will start seeing some of this abundance during that time, or you will finally have the courage to begin this project during that time. Also, pomegranates, they come in fall, right? I don't know. Yeah, but just pomegranates remind me a lot of like just that passionate and creativity energy. And with these trees in the background, I feel like whatever it is that you're wondering about or asking about, like this creative project, is being protected and guided from like a higher source from the universe. I do sense that again with this tree, because it reminds me of just like shade and protection, because they know how fruitful, but like how much it will also not only help you and give joy to you, but give to others. So it will not only benefit you, but it will benefit many other people, and it will bring a community closer. It would just create a safe space for a community to be built on love and acceptance. And with the journey card here in reverse, I feel that this is part of your journey. This is part of your path. You would be seeing that here, because we do have like this river flowing, and it just reminds me of guidance. And we have all of these stars here and this crescent moon, which reminds me of new beginnings. And stars also remind me of like spirit guides and wishes being fulfilled and dreams. But within in reverse, it's telling me that right now you're probably halting on this. You're not moving forward with this because you either feel all of these have all of these expectations, or have all of these worries or insecurities, or you don't have a sense of direction at this moment. You feel like you don't have a sense of direction. But I think that once you let go of these worries or insecurities, once you start just feeling like go for it, once you start feeling like the tiger's eye energy, like that tiger energy, like that courageous energy. Courage is not like to have courage is like when you have fear to do something, and then even through that fear you go for it. That's what courage is about. It doesn't come like innate from you that a person is courageous all the time and like they don't have any fear whatsoever. No, courage comes from that fear. It's having that fear but going forth anyways, because you know that what you're going towards is something that is calling to you, that is something that you're truly passionate about and want for yourself, and you know that it will not only benefit you, but it will benefit many other people. And it's just having that much strength in you and courage to just go forth no matter what. no matter that fear that you have or those insecurities. Is letting go of that and being like, my dream and my passion is bigger than this fear. And continuing on your journey. Because right now I feel that this journey, or like you've taken this halt, this resting period, you're like in this tent, like you went forth for it with thinking about it and envisioning it and hoping for it, and that's what I think the water represents. But then you kind of stopped in this tent because like now you're like, okay, now what's only left to do is to bring it into fruition, is to go for it, is to take that first step to begin climbing those mountains. And that's when you're like, oh snap. That's when that fear started to kick in, and you built your little tent, and now you've been on that like resting state for quite a while, and it's telling you, no, it's time to keep moving forward because success is waiting for you. This beautiful dream is waiting for you. This space is waiting for you to create it, to be part of it. And that's what I feel with this direction. It's like a journey. It's like stepping stones, right? There's a stepping stone, like one step forward is one of these stones. And it starts building and building and building and building, and it then allows you to reach those dreams, right? To see those wishes fulfilled. So it's like a step at a time. So if you don't see, let's say you began this already, and you don't see what you thought it should be at this moment, or you don't see the success of it, or it's not exactly at the point that you envisioned it to be, it's telling you it will take some time. Things that are this stable, that will be this long term and are this grounded, takes some steps, takes some stepping stones for it to be truly built and to its biggest potential. Because this will be long term. This is not something that's just going to like give you for a while and then like fall down. No, this is long term, because like I said, I see like even Mother Earth accepting this and like even grounding it further, because it's something that, like I said, will not only give to you but will give to others. It's something that will help. I don't know, it could possibly help worldwide. Yeah, and it is part of your journey, but you need to go on that journey. You need to decide to start moving forward. But this is a yes, yes, yes for whatever it is. I see this mostly as a creative project, or some project you're thinking about, that you have been thinking about, and it's quite pure and beautiful and benevolent will be the word. Yeah. So let go of all those expectations and that insecurity. Free yourself from that. Yeah. And fill your head with all these beautiful visions that you do have and have had. Keep those in you. Keep on persevering. Keep on moving forward. Keep on building on this. And it will come to this space. Yeah. So don't be afraid to move on your journey, for adventure waits for you. So that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you resonated with it, if you liked it, then please do like or comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings, then do subscribe if you are pulled to do so. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until the next moment. Hello seekers who chose group number 3. So to answer your question, we're first going to be looking at the tarot just to get the general energy of the situation, and then for clarifications and the whys, we are going to be looking at the oracle cards. But firstly, let's look at the little charm and the little stone that you chose and what they mean or symbolize. Okay, so the little anchor, or an anchor, what it symbolizes for, my god, I can't talk today. What it symbolizes for me is grounding energy and stability. right? It also reminds me of the sea, and the sea reminds me of like the unknown, of like embarking into a new journey with confidence, self-assuredness, and with this like bold spirit. I just thought of like sailors and pirates, which is like this fearlessness. And also anchors represent for me trust and hope, because like a sailor uses the anchor to anchor its ship, right? It's like pearl and jewel, and it requires trust in the anchor that when they return, their ship will still be there at the shore, right? So that's what the anchor represents for me. Now the hematite is a protective stone. It is also a grounding stone. It's used to ground, and what else? It is also it's connected with the root chakra, which is again that grounding and stable energy. So that's why I connected these two together. Okay, so now let's look at the cards. We will be looking at the tarot card first. Ooh, sorry. Okay, so 9 of Vessels, the generosity. Okay, so right off the bat, those who are familiar with the traditional tarot, the 9 of Vessels is the 9 of Cups, and that it represents wish fulfillments, your wishes being fulfilled. Now, this for me is a yes. It's a yes, but it's sort of like the first group is a yes with a but. Yeah, a yes, but. I say that, I mean, it's a very positive, like 98% yes. The but comes from the significance of this card. Now, if you pay close attention, you see all of these cups, right? And they're being filled by the energy that is being given out. So what this represents is the energy that you give out is what you receive, right? So what you're putting out there is what will come back to you. So that's why I say it's a yes, but, because I feel it depends a lot on you. And it always depends on you, because nothing and no one can take the power away from you. You are creator of your own life. You always have that power. You always have the power. You are always the author of your own story. You can always change an outcome. So even these readings, you can hear different readings, get different messages, and sometimes they're different because the energy changes, because your outlook on a situation, or even like little things that you do, shifting a routine or anything of the sort, how you feel about a situation can change the energy and thus changes the outcome. Well, it's my personal belief that nothing is set in stone. So that's why you always have the power. You're always steering the wheel. And that's exactly what this is saying. But right now it's looking very much like a yes. Like right now you're very much in this energy of like sending out, like if you're sending out the yes, like yes, this will happen. Yes, I will receive this. And that's exactly what you're sending out. And so that's exactly what you will be receiving. It's like this is coming towards you. I see this as several opportunities, or like several things or wishes that you've been wanting or praying for or manifesting, because this can be also what is it called, the law of attraction, and like a manifestation energy. And cups do represent emotions, and I always do see cups as vessels, and I relate them to like people and bodies, because our bodies are vessels. And what the vessel holds is our spirit and our energy, which is exactly like cups. So I see this as connecting with several people. Yeah, but let's get further clarifiers just to see more into the situation and the whys, and just to see what else the cards have to say in terms of, okay. We have the potential card. We have the Father card. We have perseverance. And we have guarded. Okay, I feel like putting these like this. And the guarded card here. Okay, so first with the potential card. Like I said, this is a yes. It's like exactly the potential card. It has potential. Whatever it is that you're asking about has the potential to grow, and it seems like it already has been growing, because like you have been manifesting this already. You have been sending so much energy to it, and it's in a, I don't like to say high vibrational energy, but like a positive energy. You have had hope in this and had great belief that it will manifest, and that energy, that pure emotion that you've been sending out, has allowed this seed to root. So if you haven't seen it, right, if you haven't seen the fruit of it for quite a while, it's not because it hasn't been growing. It has been growing. It's just like a seed, when you plant it, it's like in the dark for a while, and you don't see it on the surface, because how a seed grows first is downwards, because it needs to root first in order for it to be stable, in order for it to last a long time. And also because so it could get its own source of nurturing, because there's always a source of water underneath the ground that we cannot see, right? But the seeds know where to root and where to extend its root to reach that source. And so that's what it's been doing for this time. And then we see these like roots, like extensive roots, right? And so this is something that is going to be stable, and you're going to see it's barely sprouting its seed upwards in the surface. And I see this in the background as either the sun or as a womb. So I see this as like giving birth to something. I don't think it's an actual physical birth, but it could be. But I do see this as like, if it's in terms of a relationship or connection or just relationships, I do see them as like growing and being stable and being successful in a way. And coming into fruition pretty soon. So you will be seeing the fruition of this in your physical reality pretty soon. But like we said, the energy you give out is the energy that you will be receiving back. And this just further validates that, because we have the guarded card here. So this represents for me like discernment, and it also can sometimes be a form of blockage, because when we have our guard up too much, excessively, we can build walls, and that makes it harder for things to like come in, even things that are good for us or can help us in our journeys or in our growth. It's difficult for that to come in. And I sense that this is just like telling you, like a form of precaution, that this receptive state that you are currently in, of like opening yourself and receiving and being in connection with that flow, that natural flow, and that connection with that abundance, like believing that you are already, and knowing that you are already abundant, and calling more of that abundance in, that you're doing well in that, to keep it up, and to not fall into any sense of fear that you need to like put up these walls all of a sudden, or you need to be completely guarded, because then it disrupts this natural flow. Then it blocks you from that receptive state. And you need this constant flow right now. You need to be receptive, because this is finally coming into fruition, into your physical reality. And so you need the doors to be opened, right? For it to truly come into your life, or into your energetical space, into your field. Because I just see this energy of just like calling it in. Yeah. And with the Father card here, it just reminds me a lot, maybe it should have been like this, of this protective energy of being guided. Because the Father here reminds me of like the protector of the forest. This is the stag, right? And he's like the king of the forest, the one that protects the forest. And this Father energy is, in this space, like in this card, is a very compassionate energy, and uses discernment without putting up walls, right? So this is a very wise energy. So it's not a father figure that uses like just discipline, and it's only my way, and only certain people can come through because very kind of like narrow-minded and very controlling. That's not the energy this father energy is of. This energy is very compassionate and empathic, and it's open-minded. So instead of seeing just the surface of things, right, the superficial things, let's say, they look more into you can even see like this depth in its eyes. They look into the soul and the spirit of a person. They take their time. They are patient, not to use judgment, but to use discernment of whether this person, then what the energy that they carry, the energy that they have, will be compatible with like their forest or their space, right? Will be receptive to it and will be equal in its giving and receiving, which is very important, which is also what this energy is calling, is this this balance of equal giving and receiving. And so that's when the discernment comes in. And then this protective figure tells you like, okay, then you may pass, or it just, or it does not allow certain energies to pass because maybe they're not meeting at the same like energetical frequency, or like they just know that they're not just meeting at the same like level. They don't have like the same perception or the same values or same ideas, and that they just won't be compatible enough, and so it just like doesn't connect with those individuals. But it's using discernment instead of judgment, right? And it's not blocking everything and just anyone out of fear, but it's rather being patient and understanding and empathic to truly see the situation or people as they are. Because I do feel this is a bit difficult for me to like understand what the question may be about, because I do feel a lot of connections like with all these vessels is like connecting with several people at once. It could be a job or a business. If it's a self-made business that you're asking about, whether it will be successful, and with this, it's saying that it will. And with the perseverance card, I think that this is just telling me the energy that you have been on, that it has taken you quite a while to build this, to begin this, or to be at this state that you're currently on, right? But and like you continue on because you had a vision. And mostly I feel it's like your heart, your soul, your spirit was the guiding light for you to continue on, because something called you, and that's like what pulled you and pushed you to move forward. Because the bull is a very like perseverant energy, right? It goes and moves on forward, and we do see this bull represented as white, which is a very pure energy. And what I see with this like white bull is that there is no doubt, there are no insecurities when it comes to this. So that's what it makes it so pure. And then that's why you keep on moving forward, because like if there's anything that is true to you, is this. And then that's why you're moving on forward. And this is just validating that, yes, you are correct. You keep on moving forward with this. You keep such hope, which is, I feel, and then you do see like this like sun here and this sun here. Oh my God, I'm just getting really happy and emotional. Okay, as like represented in these two cards. And so it's like this seed that has been harvested and growing within you, within your heart, within your soul. That's what you've been feeling, and that's what's been calling out to you, and that's the hope that you feel. And like maybe others, it's like if others don't see it, like, because it's within you, it's that feeling that you have, like your own intuition, your own gut, your own spirit pulling you forward, and others don't see it, and sometimes this dissuades you or brings you down. It's telling you like, you're feeling all this, and this is calling to you, and you believe in it so much because there is truth behind it. because it is growing, it is coming into fruition. And maybe that's what the Garden card also can represent, that to not pay so much mind to these comments or these people who don't see the vision like you do, because you're the one who feels that you know your own truth, right? And they might not see it, but you do. And so it's just telling you, if you were wondering, because if you came here because these voices or maybe some insecurity or doubt that was sprouting in you made you come ask whether it is true or it's not true, whether it will happen or will not happen, whether you're crazy or you're not crazy. This is just telling you, you're not crazy. This is real. There is a reason for this hope and this belief that you have, for you having persevered with this for so long, because it's as real as this seed. It has been growing. It's just that you don't see the fruits of it yet because it's been rooting, but it's growing, it's sprouting, and you will see it soon. The sun is shining behind it, and it is protected. It is protected, and you've been guided towards it from this inner source, from this inner truth within you. And I do feel this protection again with this Father card. So this is a yes, and I feel it's like your own faith and your own belief and your own hope in it, your own energy that is bringing this in. Yeah. So really, I'm curious to know what this is, because I really can't pinpoint what this could be. But for whatever it is, for all those who chose this is a yes. And this is just telling you your faith and your hope in it is quite worth it, and it's what is fueling and feeding the seed, and is what will get to you receiving whatever it is that you're asking for. Yeah. Let's see, anything else? No, that's all I have for you, group number 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you resonated with this, if you liked it, then do please comment or like. And if you would like to stick around for any more readings, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until the next moment. Hello seekers who chose group number 4. So to be answering your questions, first we're going to be looking at the tarot just to get the general energy of the situation, and then for clarifiers and to know the whys and just more clarification on the situation, we'll be pulling out these oracle cards, okay? But first, let's look at the crystal and the little charm that you chose and what they represent. So this little gold leaf. So the gold leaf, what it reminds me of is abundance, because the color gold. And it also reminds me of like healthy and youthful energy, like rejuvenation, or what's juvenility? Yeah, and it also does remind me a lot of the sun energy, which is that creative energy, passionate energy, and it's just like bringing life. So it's that kind of like youthful and rejuvenating energy. It also could be in terms of to like abundance and like in terms of finances and like, yeah, financial stability. Or something that you're bringing into works that would just bring you I'm just reminded right now, like the Midas touch, like whatever you touch turns into gold. So like your ideas and stuff like that, being like successful and stuff. Yeah. And then we do have the clear quartz here. Now the clear quartz is like in my opinion, one of the most like powerful crystals, because what the clear quartz does, it amplifies the energy of other crystals. So when you place another crystal on a clear quartz, it just amplifies that energy tenfold, right? And it's also really good for intention, so bringing things into manifestations and into your physical reality. So I just relate this crystal as like a stone of power and like infinite potential. Yeah. So now let's get into the cards. So we'll first be looking at the tarot card. Whoa. Okay. So we have the World Tree. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the tarot, I believe this is the world. Yeah, and the traditional tarot. So what I'm seeing right here, the world tree represents is a journey. The journey, the completion of a journey, because we do see this labyrinth here, and the labyrinth represents exactly that, one's journey. When we're inside the labyrinth, we cannot see like the end of our journey, where we're heading, but like seeing it from this bird's eye view, we realize that the path that we are walking in is like not a wasteful one. It's not without a reason or a purpose. It actually leads us to a destination, right? To this tree, which is like, I see it as a connection with source, with all that is, because as you can see, this tree represents all the seasons. So it's again that sense of completion, right? Of bringing everything together. All of the cycles, it's just like like the earth, you know, like closing of a circle, of a cycle. And it's like you're either getting a perspective into a situation, like a bird's eye view. You're finally seeing the reason for something, or for your journey, or you're finally finding your purpose. So if you're asking about whether the path that you are on, or whether you have been on the right path, or if you're doing well, if you're doing good, then this is telling you, yes, you're doing perfectly great. You are on the right path. You are on this journey, and you're soon like gonna get there. I also like reminded of coming back home, like, because this is the connection with all that is with source and feeling, and this sense of completion. Like you're getting there. You will be getting there pretty soon. Like home is waiting for you, and I feel like that you yourself can feel it. And I think that's why we have like the gold leaf and the clear quartz for this one, because it is this sense of like complete abundance, like the sun, but it's also the sense of like rejuvenation, like, and coming to this space is like finally coming into your own, like being born again, but in like your truest essence, now embodying your truest essence. Yeah, and it's that sense of complete power, of just being, clearing yourself of any doubts and of like layers or masks, and just being this transparent and this clear, like what your spirit, I feel like this is like how our spirit would look like, completely transparent and clear and pure. Yeah. So it's just like the sense of coming back home. This for me is a yes. Whatever you're asking for, this is a yes. The 2 represents balance for me. It's like an equal receiving and giving. It also represents partnerships, like soul connections, because like we have the 2 of cups, and then like the lovers is like 2 people, and then 1 is new beginnings, right? It's a new start. It's like from like there you begin your journey again. It's like you're closing a journey, like coming to a close of a chapter. If you are solo, like if you are single, like that journey is coming to a close, and like and like you're finally going into like reaching that meeting space to meet that one person, to really begin like coming home. It just feels like coming home, and it just feels warm and stable, and like just, you know, just when you come home finally, into like safe arms and stuff. Yeah. And or if you've been feeling like it's been quite rough lately, and you're like, is this ever going to end? Am I ever going to reach that safe space? Am I ever going to understand why I went through all this? Is there a reason for this? Is there a purpose? This is just telling you, yes, there is a reason for this. There is a purpose for this, and this will come to an end pretty soon. You will see the completion of this pretty soon, and you will have that resting space of like having complete peace and falling into this knowing. When you fall into this knowing and understanding of things, that's just when you fall into this peace and like serene moment. So this is a yes for me. But let's get more like clarifications on this. Okay, so we have the Lovers. We have the Storm card in reverse. I'm so excited that I can't even speak it. We have the Worker card in reverse, and we have what is it? Kindred Spirits in reverse. Okay, so I will begin with the Storm card in reverse. What the Storm card in reverse speaks to me about is telling me that no storm is here to stay. That if you were asking about, if your situation right now feels like the storm, and you're asking, when is this going to end? Am I ever going to see the sun? Am I ever going to see the light of day or that silver lining? This is telling you yes, because no storm is here to stay. A storm is always a passing thing. And what storms, why they even exist, why they even come, is to bring some sense of light and clarity. Because we do have these lightning bolts here. And lightning bolts are light, right? So when a situation is dark or a situation is not working for you anymore, right? If like you've been, let's say, in this labyrinth and stuck in like a space of it, somewhere in it, and you're just unclear of where to go, or you just don't see where another alternative route can take you to finally finish your journey, then that's what the storm here is for, is to illuminate something, is to illuminate your path. And it's also after a storm, I'm always reminded of the Lion King when I see the storm card, because the pivotal moment, well, for those who have seen the Lion King, when Simba comes back to take his rightful place as king and confront his uncle, they do have this fight, and a storm comes in and lightning bolts come in, and it just seems all chaotic because it's the confrontation, but it's also the moment of the ending for the new beginning, for the birth of something new. Because once the storm clears, once Simba reclaims his throne, then you can see how the sun comes out, and it's like it washed away all of like the past, right? The rain and the storm, it like the lightning bolts created a fire, and fire is also like cleansing energy, and it cleansed just all away all of the past and all that was no longer needed, and it's no longer needed for this new cycle, for the new beginning. And when the sun comes out, you just see like this space that's completely clear now, for like new plants to grow, for new opportunities to begin, for this new cycle to begin, which reminds me a lot of like the cycles represented in this tree, right? We do need fall and then winter, right? Which is, I think this like reminds me of the storm stage. Like we do need this winter for it to be spring. So we do need this closing of this chapter, of this journey, that does feel like a storm at this moment, but it will pass. It will pass because seasons, they pass, they changed. They begin, but they also end for a new season to begin, and so on. And so this is just telling me that where you are right now, if it feels chaotic, if it feels dark, if it feels just like too much, this is finally coming to an end. You're finally coming out of that. And this could have been like the Worker card is like, well, the bee, first of all, represents to me like a working energy, but it's working with purpose, because the bee, it's like a routine like energy. The bee goes to work, and it's a hard worker, right? But it goes with the purpose of acquiring honey. And it always fulfills its work. And it's never like, its energy is never wasted, right? But the Worker card in reverse just speaks to me of working so hard, of putting so much energy into it, but without seeing any like fruition from it. It's like working almost like you do have a reason for it, a purpose, but like you're not getting anything out of it. It's like what that saying says, like study smart, not hard. It's like the same thing. Like this is just working, but working just to work, but like not working smart, not working in a way that can provide for you or give you any results. And I feel that again, like these two being parallel to each other. This is the energy you're coming out of. Like if you felt you were going at something over and over again and it was very tiring, or that you tried so much with in regards to a situation or maybe a relationship, because we do have Lovers card here and Kindred Spirit, which speaks to me of relationships and connections. And I did have this sense of coming back home, and you felt you were coming like working so much in this relationship or connection and it just wasn't working out for you. Then you're finally coming out of this state, because I think you're finally getting this bird's eye view and this new perspective into the situation. You're finally getting some sense of clarity, which is also reminds me the clear quartz reminds me of clarity, and this sense of like new like rejuvenation with the situation, because possibly you're understanding that this connection is not working for you, because the Worker card does come out in reverse. And you're moving away from that. You're closing that chapter of your life now. And what's that allowing you is a new form of connection. Because I feel that these connections that you were coming out of, they weren't real connections. Like maybe they were at some point. Because look, in my opinion, no connection or relationship is without purpose, because energy is never wasted, and every relationship that we have comes to teach us something. So if it worked at some point, it was because it was meant to work at that point in your life. And it's not that because it had stopped working or you're not connecting with that person anymore, that connection was a failure, or that it was bad, or that you wasted your time and your energy and your years in it. No, because it served its purpose and it has allowed you to grow and understand yourself better. Because I like that one president said, which I can never remember who it was, no man is an island, right? There's around 7 billion people on this earth for a reason, because we are meant to connect, because we are meant to learn from each other, to teach each other something. And that's what relationships do. They were meant to connect and create relationships with others, to interconnect. So but as individuals, we do grow and we do change, sometimes at different paces. So if we connected at some point and we were growing together parallel to each other, and that stage was beautiful. But if you start growing or evolving, or it's time to like walk different paths, then that's okay as well. Because you know what? There's new people that are waiting for you, that resonate with you at this moment in your life, that are waiting for you to connect. And in order for you to connect with these new individuals, with these new souls, you need to let go of the old connections that are no longer resonating with you. And there's no need to leave those connections bitter or with hate or resentment or anything of that. And there's no need to be attached to those connections that no longer serve you, or be tired out, or have to work so much on it. Because connections, it requires, I do believe that relationships do require work, right? Some of your work, but not in a way that you're always giving and giving and giving and giving and never receiving, right? When it gets to that point that it feels like something that is lasting a long time, like you're in this storm for just the longest time and nothing is working out, like the other person is not cooperating, then it's telling you something like, yeah, it's because it's time for you to move on forward. There's something better waiting for you. It's because this phase of your life, it's time to close it. It's time for the ending, because something better is waiting for you. Like a new connection is waiting for you. The next phase of your life is waiting for you. And that's exactly the coming home energy I felt with this Lover's card. You're finally connecting at a deeper soul level, because kindred spirits reminds me more of soulmates, soul family, like people that are connected to you because you come from the same pool of water, right? So we see like 3 people here, and they could be friends, soulmates don't have to be romantic all the time. They can be friendships, they can be family members, and possibly it's not something romantic that you were working at so hard. Maybe it was friendships or just a lot of your connections that you have at this moment you feel that are no longer working for you, or you don't resonate with them, and it's because it's time to move on, it's time to move forward. And don't be scared that you might be lonely at this stage of your life if you like disconnect from these people, because like this partnership, a union is waiting for you, a coming home, finally finding that person that resonates with you deeply. And we do see this eye here in the sun, which reminds me of like the eye of the universe, the all-knowing and seeing eye. Like he has, like the universe has been guiding you to finally come to this meeting space. And it feels like probably it's been waiting on you for quite a while, or maybe it's this other person that they've been waiting for on quite a while because you were stuck on this energy trying to make this work. That was no longer working for you, because we do have the sun represented here, but remember that this was in reverse. So it's like the sun wasn't no longer shining on these connections because it was busy shining over here on this one connection. It was like guiding and looking at this connection to come into fruition. Because I'm reminded of like a video game like Avatars. Like the universe was just waiting, and like kind of like you two are the avatars and just like moving you forward to come into this space. But either you or this person like face this one wall or obstacle, and like it was just taking a while to get you to jump that wall to get you to this space, to this coming home. But this is what's waiting for you, this connection. So if you're asking whether it's time to let go of this to move on forward, yes. Whether you're asking if this like chaos or this dark moment of your life, this dark phase of your life is going to end pretty soon, yes. Whether you're asking if this work situation or living situation or whatever other situation it may be, it's no longer working for you, if you need to move away from it or move on forward, yes. Whether you're asking if this connection is coming in towards your life, if you're finally gonna get to that resting space of peace and just being whole within yourself, yes. A union is waiting for you. Be it a union with your own self, connecting with your higher self, connecting with source, yes, or be it a union with a new person, with a new soul, a new relationship. It can be romantic. It feels romantic, but it's like that romance that it's not just so much based on like passion and sensuality and like the movies. It's more of a romance that's deep seated and deep rooted by the soul. Like it's a love that's all encompassing, that it's whole on its own, that is equal in its giving and receiving. Because we do see how like they don't even have feet. It's like they're grounding in this light energy, and that's where they connect at the source. Yeah, so it feels very divine and orchestrated by the universe. So they've just been waiting for you. And I feel like these clouds here that was covering like the eye, and like you could see like the universe trying to peek over it, was like this energy of like being stuck or trying to make this work that was no longer working for you. So it's time to detach from this. Yeah. Like it's time to move on from this, because something beautiful and whole and complete is waiting for you. Home is waiting for you, and they've been calling out to you, and that's what has kept you moving in this labyrinth. But you ignored it quite a bit because you wanted to make this work. But it's time to move on from that. Yeah, and move on from it, from happiness, because like it was part of the journey and part of the labyrinth to connect with these people and to learn lessons from them and to open yourself even further, to grow. Because like right here, when you grow, these people grow. When they grow, you grow together. And so you've grown to like as much as you can in this connection together, and now it's time to move forward. So if it's like a video game, like this was the you needed to pass this level in order to continue on your journey. So in a way, like, you know, souls come like knowing like sometimes like the connections, who they will be connecting and how they will be helping each other. And so like you accomplished it. You all accomplished it. You've done the work, and now it's time to move on forward, because this is waiting for you. So yes to all of that. Yeah, so that's the reading I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you resonated with it, please do comment or like. And if you'd like to stick around for more readings, then please do subscribe if you are pulled to do so. Thank you so much for joining me, and until the next moment.